So hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Rev Tripathi. With me is Devashish Sen, and you're watching the post-day live show presented by the IDFC First Bank. And currently we are under a tent because it's raining, and the rain once again has brought early end to the day. Stumps were called early because it started raining heavily. We haven't seen this heavy rain in this city in the last few days. So again, rain as predicted has come to play the spoil sport again at the fag end of the day, but it did play a spoil sport. And if you look at the day, how the day was played out, despite for Sri Lanka, despite Sonal Dinusha scoring a century, despite Pasindhu Suryabanda scoring a 92, Kamindu Mendes scoring 55, they are still behind this game. They have taken a lead of 16 runs, but they only have 4 wickets in hand, and that in that 4 wickets they only have one recognized batter, first choice batter. Apart from that, all the frontline batters have gone out, and now it has come down to only Sonal Dinusha and Kesharan Umanta, the bowling all-rounder, to extend that lead, which is going to be difficult heading into the last day. So this is where the match stands. Sri Lanka fought really well right throughout the day. They kept India bowlers at the bay, but last session, that 3 wickets, those 3 wickets that included the wicket of a well-set Pasindhu Surya Bandara, was once again denied his maiden century. Got out to 80 in the first innings and in 92 in the second innings. Manav Sudar getting 2 crucial wickets in the last session, and then Saranjan getting the wicket of Niroshan Dikwela. So the last 3 wickets have once again brought the game back in India's corner, and heading into day 5, once again India are favourites to win this test match, provided the weather remains clear tomorrow. Devashish, we were a bit worried in the second session because only 1 wicket was taken, but now after those 3 wickets, India once again pulled things back in their favour.
I think, if we talk uh, uh, post session, I think once again it was unfortunate dismissal from the captain, Dhananjay De Silva, because that ball took an inside edge, touched his pads, and then popped up.
Bit of a
Strange dismissal. So I think he will also feel very unlucky. But once again, I would say Manav Sudar is turning out to be a very, very intelligent bowler. Means, obviously, guessing that Surya Bandara was stepping out, he deliberately bowled it wide and got him stumped. This is sheer intelligence. This is sheer presence of mind, and credit should be given to Rishabh Pant. Prior to the delivery, a loud shout of leg before the review was taken, called off, and then guessing that Rishabh Pant instructed the mid-on fielder to come, and then sensing that he was getting a bit restless, and then that dismissal. So it was all walked out, but I think that wicket was a body blow for Sri Lanka.
Definitely, that wicket was a body blow and started with Dhananjay De Silva's wicket. It was important for the captain to stay out there in the middle and fight like the vice captain fought, like how Sonal Dinusha fought in the first innings and the Pasindhu Surya Bandara. When you have a set batter, I think shot selection once again could have been better from the Sri Lankan captain, because that was a half tracker. Manav Sudar didn't do anything special in that delivery, because in the same over, if you look at that over, Dhananjay De Silva hit Manav Sudar for a 6 down the ground, straight down the ground, and afterwards he darted one, quicker, and then Dhananjay De Silva in attempt to pull the ball towards the mid wicket, got an inside edge, and then towards the slip. So that was an unfortunate dismissal, but the way he got out, a well said Pasindhu Surya Bandara again. Pasindhu Surya Bandara, after playing for long durations, after being set, after nearing his 100, he could have avoided that step out, because that was a premeditated, that seemed like a premeditated step out.
I think you were terming it as premeditated. I would say brain fed. That was clearly a brain fed moment, because he was nearing his 100, his maiden test 100, and then all of a sudden he decides to step out and hit him for a 6. And I think had he stayed in the middle, then despite the wicket of Surya Bandara, despite the wicket of Dhananjay De Silva, Sri Lanka needed a partnership at that time, and it was unfortunate that they gave it away. I think they threw it away.
They threw it away, and this is where the partnership factor becomes very important. The partnership that was formed by Kamindu Mendis and Pasindu Surya Bandara in the first innings as well, in the second innings as well. So this game is about partnerships. When you are chasing a game and you are fighting back, you need big partnerships. You need resistance from the players. That's what lacked from a captain. Dhananjay De Silva once again would be ruining the fact the way he got dismissed. Obviously, inside edge, but he could have played that shot better, and that is why once again what that little passage of play has done, that spell of Manav Sutar where he got a couple of wickets, it has brought India back into the game. If not for those 2 wickets, Devashish, or 3 wickets, it would have been a completely different story because Sri Lanka only had to play few overs before the rain arrived.
Yeah, absolutely, and they will rue the opportunity. They have done all the hard work in the post-lunch session thanks to that partnership between Kamindu Mendis and Surya Vandara. But again, Kamindu Mendis, that dismissal just before the tea break didn't do any good for Sri Lanka. All they wanted, because he scored a half century, and that dismissal. I think. I don't see Sri Lanka saving this test match from Iran, because it will depend how fast they they get wrapped up.
Yeah, look at the batting to come. You have a Sonal Dinusha who has scored 100, who has been the standout batter in this series for Sri Lanka, and who has looked at different batter. You just keep aside Sonal Dinusha and rest of the batters, it has looked completely different. Yes, Pasindu Suryamandar obviously has to be the second bright spot for Sri Lanka, but Sonal Dinusha by far has been the best. But if you look at the batting to come, you have a Keshara Nuwanta who's a bowling all-rounder, staged a 50-odd run partnership in the first innings as well with the same batter, Sonal Dinusha on the other end. But day 5, yes, the wicket hasn't deteriorated much, but there's still ample amount of assistance for the bowlers, as we have seen in the last session as well. And it won't be easy for a Keshara Nuwanta to do the repeat of the first innings. It will require more than what they did in the first innings in order for Sri Lanka to post something to defend.
16 is too low a target. Obviously, how much can we expect? 100? 120? Means obviously the damage has already been done. Once some Sonal Dinusha, he stands between Sri Lanka posting a decent total and India's victory. So I think you cannot expect a Nuwanta Keshara or a Lahiru Kumara to stitch a partnership, blockathon for the duration of the 5th day. Only rain gods, the way it has started pouring around 4:45, I think Sri Lanka will be praying, the entire Sri Lanka will be praying that there is more rains. Do we see a forecast of rains tomorrow?
Tomorrow again there's a forecast of rain.
My goodness.
There is another forecast of rain, but the good thing is that today as well it had a forecast right from the start of the afternoon hours, from 12 to evening hours. But again, it only rained at the very end of the day before the stumps were called. So not a lot of overs lost, but yes, considerable amount of overs have already been lost in this test match, in this test series. But for India to produce a result, I don't think they will be looking for more than one session.
I think that follow-on of the way Sri Lanka batted in a post-lunch session, that might have given some nervous moments to the Indian dressing room. Even all the commentators, if you were following, from Harsha Bhogle to Russell Arnold, everyone was saying that we might see a 2015 debate getting repeated. But that was not to be, because of that rain-fed moment from Surya Vandara and that dismissal of Dhananjay De Silva. I think both the dismissals, the batters will blame themselves. Especially, there was no point there. Vaibhav before asked me, he has done all the hard work and grind, or there was no need of stepping out and hitting that ball, trying to hit that ball for a 6. So I think Manav Sutar was very lucky to get that wicket.
And that was a duel, Devashish, if you look at the first couple of sessions before Pasindu Surya Bandara got out, the first 2 sessions, that battle between Manav Sutar and Pasindu Surya Bandara, that was dominated by Pasindu Surya Bandara. His footwork, playing shots of the back foot, front foot, coming down the wicket and lofting it over the inner circle. Pasindu Surya Bandara was in lot of confidence. He had already gained a lot of confidence because he had the upper hand over the young Manav Sutar. Already, obviously, both players are young in their respective international careers, but Manav Sutar was under a lot of pressure because he was not just not unable to take wickets, but he was also leaking runs. He was also leaking a lot of runs. If we look at the by the end of the first session, his economy rate was over 7. By the end of the second session, his economy rate was touching 5. But everything changed in the last session when he got the couple of wickets, and that's why we say that a small passage of play can change the entire complexion of the game, and that is what this cricket is all about. If you look at those 15 minutes, that one spell of Manav Sudar where he got the wicket of Pasittu Surya Bandara and Dhananjay De Silva, those two wickets really changed the complexion of the game because then it came in Niroshan Dikvela, and with Niroshan Dikvela, we know what we expect. It's not just us. Everybody, even Sri Lankan, the people who are covering cricket in Sri Lanka, they also expect the same thing from Niroshan Dikvela because Niroshan Dikvela time and time again has said Devashish used that word brain fade. He has been always that player who gets out on moments, and then we said it's a brain fade from Niroshan Dikvela. But for Niroshan Dikvela, it's a habit now. And as we speak, Sonal Dinosha, the Centurion, is walking past by just in front of us. He's going for the press conference, and Sairaj Bardul is also leaving India's spin bowling coach after completing the press conference. So yes, Sonal's body language has said a lot of things. His face doesn't look good because Devashish, you see, right from the first test, he's been the lone fighter for this team. Make no mistake, he's been the lone fighter for this team, lone warrior, doing everything. He just hasn't bowled. Otherwise, he could have taken wickets as well. He's a decent left arm spinner. It feels bad, when you have done everything from your end and you have not got support from your teammates.
Yeah, I think if you ask me, Vaibhav, the the biggest learning that Manav Sutar will take from this test match is when the chips are down. There will be sessions when you will not get wickets, when the batters will be on top of you. I think in his early test career, he has played 3 test matches. I think his particular second innings will teach him a lot, will make him a better bowler, will get him that experience, and he will come back strongly. And that is the beauty of every sports coach. When the chips are down, how you come back is all that matters. And I think Manav Sudar will be an improved bowler when he goes back to India and ahead of the next series.
And that's what we spoke about in our last live session. That we have seen Manav Sudar bouncing back after a wicketless session in Gaul as well, when there was a partnership between Sonal Dinusha and Niroshan Dikvela. That afternoon session that went wicketless for India, Indian bowlers looked flat then only, and it looked like that both Niroshan Dikvela and Sonal Dinusha will complete their century. But then came that phase, the second new ball, first Prasidh Krishna removing Niroshan Dikvela, and then Manav Sudar running through the lower middle order. And Manav Sudar once again bounced back in that game. And today also we saw something similar. And this is where the break helps Devashish in Test cricket. At times when you are bowling, continuously bowling, nothing is happening, a partnership is brewing, and then you get a break, you go back into the dressing room, you talk to coaches, you re-strategize, and that's those little moments, those off periods really help the bowlers. And then you see when he came back, he looked like a different bowler. There was a sense of calmness in which he was operating. Okay, we have
We have our updates. I will just share the updates with you, shared by Sumita. If 3 hits come in test, no balls will be reduced.
Okay, so Sairaj Bardule said about, see, one thing I'll tell you. It was only until Saran Jain's debut, we only used to talk about how Ravindra Jadeja can minimize his no balls and they can reduce the number of no balls, because you have to nullify no balls as a spinner. There is no way you can bowl no ball. There's no way you should bowl no balls. But today we saw Saran Jain bowling as many as what 3 or 4 no balls.
Yes.
So again, he was
Sarang Jain, Ravindra Jadeja. How can a spinner bowl no balls, Vaibhav?
With Ravindra Jadeja, it has become a habit. We have seen it time and time again in white ball cricket, in red ball cricket. But for Saranjan, you are fighting for your spot, and you cannot do that. Especially when you are not taking a bag full of wickets, you cannot afford to bowl no balls. And I think that's what the question was asked to the spin bowling coach about the no balls, the number of no balls, because it has increased from the last Test match. And he says if free hits comes in Test cricket, no balls will be reduced. So, Devashish, you support the idea of free hit being introduced in Test cricket?
Why not? With so much of innovation, we need to bring a bit of entertainment with regard to free. Means obviously, that is why people come into the stadiums to get some entertainment. Means obviously, Test cricket is test a character, test a character of any size. But I think that bit of entertainment also needs to come in, so as to make the game more. We saw the turnout here in Sri Lanka. Not that huge, means be it in ball or here in SSC, we haven't seen that cricket. Means obviously it's all about test matches in Australia, England, to some extent India, where the crowds turn up in numbers. But that is not the thing. So that is where you need that element where you can, means obviously a bowler cannot go, means just bowling a no ball and just let go. I think there needs to be a penalty so that next time when he bowls a no ball, he remembers, because the last thing that he wants is to once his team get penalized if a batsman hits him for a six or a boundary.
Devashish is being too harsh to the bowlers already. The game is already very harsh on the bowlers. If you talk about the white ball cricket, it's only the red ball cricket where the bowlers have something which they can fight. But if the free hit is introduced in Test cricket, then again, obviously it won't impact much. It won't have a big impact. But yes, it is a important point now, which Sairaj Batule has mentioned, that free hits has to be introduced, because it can be mental as well. You know that even if you are putting an extra effort, you are bowling the no balls. They won't. There's not a free hit where the pressure can be released by a batter playing a long shot.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's coming from India's spin bowling coach. That is interesting. Means when your own bowler bowls a no ball, and and Team India's spin bowling coach comes out with such kind of statement, means I don't know. I mean, how whether it's, I think it's on a lighter note. Means obviously, I think it must be said in a lighter note, but definitely this is something that needs to be looked at. Means bowlers cannot keep on bowling no balls. Then what's the benefit of the batting team?
Indian cricket has suffered the most of because of the no balls. You remember that
As we speak, Vaibhav, it has started.
it has started pelting down heavily,
down.
and then it is we are the only ones who are outdoors and under the net, under the
What a
shed.
decision, what a judgment Vaibhav has taken to be under the 10, but that also is not saving us from getting benched.
See, you
I
can
think
see.
I think we have to move on.
See,
It is
see,
getting
see,
very heavy.
it's getting very
It's
heavy.
getting
We are,
very heavy, very
we are,
heavy.
we are inside the tent. That is why
But
we are
even
safe.
if we rush, we will get wet.
Yes, even if we rush, so we can only hope that a couple of minutes and the intensity goes down a bit. That will only save us, uh, because see now it's the breeze. The breeze and the rain has combined, and we are trapped in between the breeze and the strong rain.
What would have happened had we been on the road doing the post-display live?
where we generally where we do the live, if we would have been there, we would have been all wet by now, and by the time we reached India, we would have been completely, our body would have been in that state where we are ill, we are full of diseases. But now coming back to that point, I think we have to read between the lines from what the coach has
I
said.
think it was on a lighter note.
It was on the lighter note, and it is an indirect message to the bowlers as well, that stop bowling no balls. Beat a Ravindra Jadeja, beat a Saranjan, whoever it is.
We have already seen a wicket being disallowed because of a no ball.
Exactly. So this is Ravindra Jadeja, happened with Ravindra Jadeja, and it has happened a lot of times in Indian cricket. You remember the 2017 final, Jasprit Bumrah no ball, then 2016 semi-final against West Indies, Ravichandran Ashwin, a lot of bowlers bowling no ball. So no ball has cost not just India, a lot of teams, a lot of players, their wickets. and that is why it is being said that avoid no balls. As a spinner, when a Prasidh Krishna is not bowling a no ball, when a Mohammad Siraj is not bowling a no ball, despite bowling at a good pace, despite giving a lot of effort, so rain is hitting us hard, and still we are doing live. So that's when you have to show your support to us as well by asking your friends to join and watch us. But now coming to the last part of the discussion, because it has intensified to an extent that we have to rush to the indoors with the help of somebody. Devashish, tomorrow when India will come out, how they should start? Pace from both ends, or they should have a spinner from other end?
Spinner from both ends. I think it's a matter of time. It will only be a matter of time, but provided the rain, it is not raining tomorrow. I don't know what's the forecast, but
Forecast is not too good. Forecast for tomorrow is also not good.
my goodness, if it stays like this, then who knows? Who knows?
If it's a persistent rain, then it's all done and gone for India. If this game ends in a draw, if this game ends in a draw, then then India will lose out on crucial, valuable WTC points, and that won't be good. That won't be good.
I think decision to follow on is vindicated. I think
Obviously, yes,
that's
yes.
the best thing
Because-
because had Sri Lanka posted a lead, took a lead, a substantial lead, then all these talks about Gautam Gambhir enforcing follow on, the team management would have been under tremendous pressure, and they would have been criticized. But thankfully, it looks like India are on the verge of winning this test match.
Provided that rain god stays away from the SSC tomorrow, only that, because India will need time. India needs time to take the remaining wickets and then come out, because see, it's about taking wickets. It's not about chasing the target, because whatever target Sri Lanka set, whether it's 50, 60, 100, it is a matter of time, because our Rishabh Pant, if he opens, it could be a possibility. It could, if the forecast, you can see that team will obviously analyze the forecast tomorrow. If there is a forecast of rain, then what Team India can do is, instead of opening with a KL Rahul, they can send in a Rishabh.
Yes.
They can send in a
Yes.
Dhruv Jurai.
Yes.
These kind of tactics they can use, because in the past we have seen England opening with Ben Stokes. England opening with Ben Stokes against West Indies in 2020. So this can be done, but for that first you have to bowl out the opposition, and then only you can think about doing that. And even for bowling out the opposition, you will need some support from the weather gods.
What is happening?
Can there be a washout, considering bad luck in WTC? Washout looks bleak. The chances of washout looks bleak. I don't think entire day will be washout. For that to happen, see,
That is the most. That will be the most disappointing thing to have happened if rain completely spoils the day. I think is there a possibility?
no, you see, there is a forecast of rain. That is for sure.
But
But-
we haven't seen such rain.
Yeah, we haven't seen
We have
such
been
rain.
here for 45 days.
45
It
days.
has been going for last 4:45. The game stopped.
Yeah.
It is almost 5:45, 5:35 now.
So almost an hour. Yeah, almost an hour that the rain has intensified. It stopped for a short while. The
But
intensity was not
everyone
there.
else will be doing their live now
From indoors.
from indoors.
Only we are doing it from the outdoors. So see the commitment, the passion of ours in covering everything, so that you can see the rain from outside as well. That's why I'll turn the camera around and make you see what is happening. What is the current status? See, we are inside the SSC. This is the stadium, and it's pelting down heavily. It's heavy. It's a heavy downpour, and we are here in the middle of the rain. We are also half drenched, but still doing the light, because we don't want you guys to miss out on anything. Be it the insights, be it the updates, or whatever is related to game. We don't want that. Okay, AccuWeather is showing persistent periods of rain. The last time I checked AccuWeather, it showed showers of rain. But again, fingers crossed from an Indian point of view, that rain god stays away, because if this ends in a draw, Devashish, the large scale implications will be on
But
the
we cannot
WTC.
complain. We cannot complain. The Indian team, at least they showed the urgency of enforcing a follow-on, because clearly they would get an Objective is to win this test match and be in a favorable position.
Now, again, if this ends in a draw, then it will jeopardize the entire WTC scenario for Team India. If it ends in a draw, then obviously India won't be happy. India will be disappointed. The players will be dejected because they did all the hard work. They arrived in Colombo on fourth from their continuous practice sessions, multiple
But
training
let
sessions.
me ask you one thing.
Yes.
If suppose this match ends in a draw with rain playing a spoil sport, what according to you, Vaibhav, will be the reason that India would have avoided and so as to inflicted our result in under 4 days?
What they could have avoided. I think the only thing they could have done better was to take was to apply more pressure, take wickets at regular intervals, and not allow partnerships to be built. Because in the
Vaibhav, we have to make way now. It is our shoes will get wet now.
okay, so we will try to move. Obviously, only a few minutes. We can
Wrap up.
we can we can we can we'll try to move from here to the other part. It looks like a different country at the moment. But yes, we will have to close the show unfortunately because it has intensified and we are already half drenched. Our bottoms, our shoes are already half drenched. So yes, on that note, we will take your leave, but we will be back tomorrow with an update. There will be a weather update also. What is the weather forecast for tomorrow that we will share, and how India can force a result if the weather stays good for tomorrow. So yes, let's see what is in store for us on day 5. We will be back here at the SSC. So don't forget to join us for the morning live show, which starts at 9 a.m. And it will be an early start to the day for both teams, 9:45, given the weather remains clear. So yes, thanks for watching the show. This was presented by the IDFC First Bank, and we'll be back tomorrow.